Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Hi.
I like that, man. Y'all like slid into like the screen like real.
Yes. How
I
are
like
you?
it. How we
It's a
doing?
pleasure to finally meet you, my brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's good. It's good. Hold on one second.
Yes. Let me turn up the volume
We
too.
are here.
There we go.
Hello, Desi Book Auntie. How you doing?
Hi, everybody.
Cool, cool, cool.
You remind me of Sterling K. Brown from This
Do
Is
I?
Us. Do people tell you that?
No,
The
I've never
actor from
heard that.
This Is Us?
I've never heard that in my life ever.
You do. You remind me of him.
Never heard it in my life ever, ever. So, cool. We have Ruksana and Wayne with us today. So, first of all, Jonah Batumzi, Blindian project founder. We are a space community looking to normalize Black and South Asian relationships and dismantle anti-Blackness. That's us. We create spaces for us to hang out, learn from one another, and just conversate about stuff that we don't normally get to talk about, really. So, Ruksana, Wayne, thank you for joining us today. Your story has been shared on the main IG page and across social profiles, and you're also in the book that we're about to come out with and
Yes.
self-published. So I'm so excited
know.
about the book as well too. Like Wayne, I'm so happy that you like contributed your part to it as well too.
Yeah, I don't even know what he said.
Do you not? You don't know?
This, baby.
Yeah, he's got it.
I need to check things. I need to check things
Yeah,
before they get
I haven't even
published.
shared it with you either. So
No.
Good.
don't worry, it's all good.
Good.
It's all good though. It was good though. It was great to just get that other, that voice and everything like that. So
Yeah.
do you all want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, sure.
Ladies first.
Oh gosh, yes. I'm Roxanna, and this is Wayne. Everyone.
I'm supposed to introduce myself.
Well, okay, go ahead.
All right, you got it.
Okay, so this is Wayne. I guess he wants to say it in his own little way.
No, you got it. You're introducing yourself.
We are a Blindian couple. We've been married. It's going to be 9 years. We've been best friends since we were
16.
I was 15. You came to my sweet 16.
Right.
We have the VHS to prove it. We'll drop that at a later time. But yeah, and then here we are, 16 plus years later, sitting talking to Jonah from the Blindian project.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah. And what's the background though? What were you? Tell us a bit about yourself before you had met Wayne.
Before Wayne, yes.
Yeah, well, tell us about your background and stuff
because
like
Wayne
that.
thinks I was like exposed to the world after him.
Mind you, I never said any of this.
No, that's how he acts. He's a little cocky. You could tell. I am South Indian, born and raised in New Jersey, but don't let my accent fool you. People think I'm a New Yorker. I have this accent like I'm American. Yes, I'm American, but I'm Indian as hell. Like, it's Bollywood and hip hop. That's the best way to describe my life. I'm a little person, the only little person in my 300 plus family members. Don't know how it happened. Some genetic something took place, and I was born to my parents. Very, very normal upbringing. My dad was just the type, like, don't take no crap from anybody, and if they give you problems, we'll take them to court. It was always like, don't worry. It was just, don't ever settle. You could do everything. Don't let people tell you can't do anything. So that was always the mentality. My mom is just the sweetest woman, very soft spoken. She always says I'm like the opposite. I'm like her guts, because she would never really say stuff and express how she really felt. That's kind of common in Indian culture. But I was one that's like, what? You said I can't dance? I'm going to dance. You said I can't drive? I'm going to drive. Like, I was just always that mentality, like, oh, y'all think I can't do that? Okay, true. I'm like, anybody that thought I needed phone books to drive, I was just pulling up like, no adjustments. I don't need anything. I'm fine. Like, nobody needs to feel bad for me. I'm good. Like, so it was just always like that. It was very like Indian culture, but we have our steaks and then we have our curry. I was just never brought up with any type of divide. Like, we never had that. Like, I had other family members that would like differentiate different races and stuff, like put them in like groups. And my parents would be like, what? Like, we don't even talk like that. Like, People are people. Like, it was never that. And I don't know if it's because I was different. So then my parents were like, how are we going to talk about people that are different? We have a child that's different. I don't know if it's that or if they were just open-minded. So I was just, you know, went through a lot of bullying, went through a lot of that kind of stuff. But I just got to a point where I wasn't beat. Like, I was just like, who cares? Like, I don't care. You're not doing anything for me. If your energy is negative, you know, I don't bring that around. And then, you know, going through school, I had a lot of friends. I was always like the person that the football players carried my books. It wasn't anything romantic. It was just like, she's my sis. I'm going to take care of her. And then go in high school, I meet the new student. All the girls are like, oh, he's a new student. He's cute. I was like, yeah, okay. Like, I don't know, you know, because girls.
What about, did you grow up in, is this in Jersey? Is this
in New Jersey? Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right.
So in a little town called Union, New Jersey. So.
Okay.
And when she says school, she means high school.
High school. That's when I met him in high school.
Yeah.
So I was like, ew. So then the girl's like, oh, he's cute. And I was like, yeah, no. So then I could walk. So he saw me, and he still denies this. And I swear to God, if there was a talk boy or whatever, if I could have recorded him, he saw me. He was like, yeah, I would get with you. And I was like, ew, I don't know who he think he is.
I don't remember saying that.
Why? There's no reason for me.
I mean, obviously, it doesn't matter, but
it does, because I was like, ew. So then I hated him. So I walked into the last period of the day in Spanish class, and this mug is in my Spanish class. So the teacher's like, oh, we have a new student, you know, everybody. I'm like, oh my God. So in Spanish, he had the name Cesar, and I was Rosa.
Cesar.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Cesar. Yeah, he's all Spanish all of a sudden. So then the teacher was like, I want each of you to say a nice thing about each other. So, so he, you went first.
Please tell the story.
You went first.
Yes, I did.
So
Wayne,
I said, so Wayne, Cesar was like, oh, Rosa mucha bonita.
Yeah.
So I was like,
she's very beautiful.
Yeah. He know. People know.
With the ones that aren't as seasoned.
Okay. So then it was my turn. And I was like, Cesar, with Cesar, mucho feo. I said he's ugly. Okay, so I was like, whatever, it's a joke. It's not that serious.
Yeah. Gotcha. And that was
Lord
meeting.
knows.
That was meeting. And what? And tell us about your background, Wayne.
Yes, you go, Wayne. Yes, please.
Well.
Yes, enlighten.
Well. You know, I'm one of four, so I was the youngest in my family. My family comes from the South. My mother and father were both. They were both born and raised in North Carolina. To speed that up a little bit, to say the least, they obviously came further up north for better opportunity job-wise. So they both ended up coming up north separately to work for the same company.
Gotcha.
So Jersey raised, born in New Jersey. Christian background. My mother, she was a Baptist, went to church every Sunday, made Sunday dinner. And every Sunday, you could catch all of us at her house, whether it was close friends of the family, people that said that they were my mother's child, anybody. She had friends, but because my mother could cook, she could cook. So everyone knew that. Sunday, come to my house. So I always grew up with a lot of people in my immediate ecosystem, for lack of better words. And, you know, very just happy-go-lucky, you know, like to joke, love music. Very simple, but question everything type of guy. And then I met Ruksana. Now, I was always open-minded. You know, I never had bias or anything like that. As far as color, I never was brought up like that. So honestly, and not just saying this because she's my wife, but when I first met Ruksana, you know what I'm saying, she didn't shock me. She didn't like make me go, oh my God, you know, she's a little person. Yeah. It was just Ruksana to me. And she was cool. Like because when I met her, the first thing I noticed was her personality was pop like mine. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. I like her. You know what I'm saying? And I might have said that. I don't remember it, but I might have said that. So like she said, you know, we clicked in Spanish class, and since then, you know, we were just really good friends. Yeah. And you know,
how and when, I guess, did things turn for you? You met at 16, you're good friends for a while, and then how did How did it
Yeah,
blossom?
see, my parents were trying, like, my parents didn't force me. My other cousins were getting arranged marriages, like they were getting prepped, right? And I think my
From what
parents,
age? From what age?
uh, I made what, 21, 22, they were starting to get prepped. And with me, like, once I got married, I think in the Indian culture too, especially, like, they didn't start sharing like those deep things with me, like how they really felt about stuff, till I was old enough, I guess, for me to handle. So like with arranged marriages, like they would have probably liked that because that was successful. My parents are 40 years married, arranged marriage. I mean, they was all about that. And I'm with that. Whatever works for you, whatever's your fate is going to be your fate. But with me, even though I had proposals, I think with them, it was like, are they trying to marry her just to come to America? Like, or, you know, my father was like, yeah, what if these dudes are big and they abuse her? Or like, you know, what do they do? Like, do they really care about her? So then they didn't want me to have any heartbreak, like saying, oh, this guy doesn't want to marry you because you're small. So it was like never this subject at all. So I just was like, well, I guess whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I mean, it can't just be somebody off the boat. Like, you have to know what I went through and how I am, because I am very outspoken. I do, you know, if I want to do something, I do it. And it's nothing disrespectful. It's just, I'm very strong-willed, and I'm like always agenda, like next. So then it was like, I saw him, and, you know, in Indian culture, like, homes make you feel very comfortable, like that home feeling, that down home feeling. And I never felt that comfort until I was at his, like, hanging out with friends at his house, like, and his mom and his dad and his siblings. I was like, yo, they're like Indian families. Like, everybody's here. Like, we're all eating, we're all hanging. Like, I'm going with his sister to Walgreens. I'm having lunch with his niece. I'm coming back. Then he's coming to family functions. And they were like, wow, Wayne is her best friend. Like, Wayne is always there. Like, Valentine's Day and stuff would come, he would send me stuff, and my mom's like, who did? My mom's like, he's so nice. That's so nice of your friend. You know, Roxana's friends are so nice. And I'm like, yeah. So I was rocking with that, because, listen, I had to be really sure. I'm not going to be out here going to my father. My father's the OG. I'm not going to him with unsure information. So it was a lot of things, testing, like a lot of things. I mean, look, I had to be sure. So it was about,
it was like we knew what it was.
Yeah.
But no one else knew what it was, and we had to figure out how to present what it was.
Yeah.
But they wasn't.
They can't.
They knew what time it was. Like,
Yeah.
They knew. They
Okay.
knew. They were picking up on things.
But I will tell you this, Jonah. I said, after it started getting serious, Wayne's like, oh, your parents don't even know about us. Like, and I said, Wayne, I'm gonna tell you one thing. If I tell them today, the question they're going to ask you is, when are we getting married? Because my father's not going to have me ripping and running with some big 6'1" dude who happens to be black and out here in these streets. So Wayne thought I was playing. I was like, all right, you want to be known? That's, if I tell them, be prepared. It was 2010. And it was my college graduation, and I was supposed to have a graduation party. So I was like, watch how quick that graduation party gonna be an engagement party. And that's exactly. I told my mom.
It did turn into the. It turned.
I didn't get no graduation party. It was an engagement party, fresh.
But see, here's what she's leaving out. She's leaving out the fact that she thought she was calling my bluff or something.
No.
But hold on. By doing this.
Okay.
So when the time came and that presentation was made,
what presentation? The graduation one or the engagement one? Which one?
It was the presentation.
There was no proposal.
It was a presentation of what we wanted to do.
Look, Jonah, I didn't get the box open. Will you marry me, Ruksana? It was, my mom's about to make dinner. You're gonna come over and tell.
No, we did it. We did it the way it should be done. We did it respectfully. No. I asked her parents.
Yes, but this is what I did. All I said is, Mom, Wayne wants to marry me. And my mom's like, what? Your friend? Your friend since you were in 15? I was like, yeah, he wants to marry me. She was like, oh, okay. And then she was like, yeah, so we need to talk to your dad, and we need to talk to our family to see what everybody thinks. Okay. And she just kept saying
processing it, trying to process it, yeah.
Trying to process it. She was, you know, and then she's like, you know.
Because here's the thing. It wasn't like it was like, Mom, Joe Schmo from the street who you guys really don't know or never met wants to marry
like
me.
That.
It was like, it was more like you said, processing it and then processing the fact that, well, damn, he has been around for a while. He does care for our child.
Yeah.
You gotta see, you know, wow.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this, my mom didn't, she was open because she was like, you know, for somebody to love you just for who you are, like I would never. But my father was like, he's too big for her. He's too big. And my mom's like, anybody's going to be too big for Roxanna. Like, we got to, you know, she's not, I'm sorry, no offense to my LPs out there, but I wasn't marrying no LP because if I can't get it, the LP damn sure can't get it. Listen, I'm not making, I need tall folks, okay? Because when the step stools ain't cutting it, I need people to get me stuff, okay? So no offense, but it wasn't happening. So my dad had to get that. I think he was just finding excuses to like be like, no. You know, so it was like tests, like trying to see, like, okay, his family, they know, you know, they knew he lived down the street from us, by the way. So they knew his family. It was just trying to, like, what is people going to say? It was all these things. And at the end of the day, my mom's like, you know what? They're going to say something regardless. So then all of a sudden, all I know is from 2010, everything just started going very fast. It was, Wayne had, you know, when we were together, even when we were as friends, Wayne wouldn't be eating pork like that anyway. And especially after his mother had passed, he wasn't really eating pork like that.
Because that's, So you're getting onto the, So, so let's talk about, so we published one of your stories or the first portion of your story on the IGBit. Now, for me, like, people when they mention conversion, like people are very, very touchy around this conversion thing, right? Yep. Now, like just recently, even in India and stuff, like there's some commercial, I think, about something and somebody converted in the commercial, and like there was this uproar and the company had to take the commercial down, and there's this whole kind of love jihad thing, and people think people are marrying people to convert them over to Islam and things like that.
I know what you mean.
It's such like a touchy subject, I feel like. Me personally, I tried to ask the question one time, did you convert for love? You know, like, because I'm sure there are people who convert for love. And at the end of the day, like, I'm not a person to say that's wrong that person did it. You know, that's just what their situation was.
Correct.
And that's what was right for them. Right.
Yeah. Right.
So I think it was mentioned in your first story. And people were asking questions and stuff like that.
Oh, if it's not love, you know, if you really love it, why does it matter? He can do whatever he wants.
Why would he change and stuff like that? So I think, so how was it for, what was it like? Because obviously you converted later on, Wayne, didn't you? What was it like for you coming from, you know, the Baptist background? And it seems like, you know, every Sunday you were like, you know, you're at church and things like that. What was that process like for you?
Honestly, you know, like I said before, I'm a pretty simple dude. So with me, it was like it was a 1 + 1 is 2 sort of thing. Like I had one of my best friends growing up was Muslim. He was a black gentleman, but he was Muslim. And that right there opened me up to, that was the first time that my mind got open to other things, for lack of better words. And I was never really foreign to the religion Islam. Again, I'm not closed-minded. I mean, obviously, everyone lives their life the way they want to, and no one lives life the same. So with that just being a basic principle for me, it was like, I wasn't opposed to the idea of converting if that meant that we can be us in peace.
Yeah. And did you know, so before the meeting, did you know that it was going to be raised to you, or that it's something that you
No.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Right. I didn't know that was going to be a thing. It was something that we spoke about at that time of having that conversation. And I didn't even feel like I was, and I want to say this before anyone thinks it without saying it, I don't even feel like I was pressured into making the decision.
Yeah.
Like there was no pressure at all if there is that thought or that question. No. To me, I knew what I wanted, right? And it comes down to this. Anyone that wants anything in life will do whatever they have to do to get it.
I like that. You know what? Because so many people that we speak to are, you know, should I tell my parents? When am I going to tell my parents? I don't know. And it's like this in-between stage where you know what you want in your head, but you're scared of what the other people are going to say. And
correct.
so I appreciate you saying that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you want something, you're going to go get it.
Yeah. I mean, anyone that wants, like, it's just like anyone that wants anything out of this life. You're going to do whatever you have to do to get it. And then, yes, there will be people on the outside looking at you like, yo, you're crazy. Like, why are you going through all of this? Or what are you doing all of this for? It's the same thing as, you know, Albert Einstein, when he locked himself in a room before he came up with the theory of relativity. Oh, this man's crazy. But now look, you understand what I'm saying? He did what he had to do to obtain what he wanted to obtain, the goal that he wanted to attain. So as I digress, it wasn't pressure. It was just a simple fact of, oh, okay, converting to Islam. It's not a big deal. I've always been interested in it. It's not like it's something that makes me, you know, makes my skin crawl. I don't look at it in any way. I have no negative opinions about it. I mean, yeah, and if it's going to mean that we can bask in our love without anyone having any thoughts or having something to say, or, you know, elders. I mean, let's be honest. Elders, a lot of the times, may be opinionated. And it comes from a good place, we know, but it may come out wrong. Yeah. So if I could save her from that potential as well by me doing this, all right, let's do it. I mean, I love her.
And the crazy thing is, the crazy thing about it is, my family, as much as everybody totes that, you know, to me, with religion, to me, I feel like whatever you believe is your faith and how you want to do it. My grandmother was the most religious in our family, and she always said, don't do it just because, you know, don't be half-assed, to be honest. Like, she didn't use ass because she never cursed. But I'm just saying, don't be half-assed. If you're going to do it. And be committed because you want to do it. And with me, it was just like, our family isn't super religious. But it was like for the spirituality, like my cousins and my father and them don't go pray 5 times a day. But it's knowing this is over 100+ years of how our family's been rooted. And it was like, this is, you know, we're bringing him in, we're embracing him. He lost his mom. His siblings are older than him. You know, his father lives down south. So it was like, we're taking Wayne in. We're going to be there for him. Yeah, and the crazy thing about it is our families are so, like, melted. Like, people, honestly, Jonah, I'm not even trying to be funny. People look at our family and be like, yo, you cut it up with your sister-in-law like she's your sister. I'm like, Like, that's just, and me, I'm like, I always make the joke of Wayne, like, it's literally fried chicken, curry chicken. Like, we're doing, it's no divide. And it's funny because you bring this up, like, I have a lot of friends that will be trying to bring up, like, oh, you don't really understand Black issues. You know, you don't really understand what Black people went through. I'm like, yeah, you're right, because I'm not Black. But
friends,
like some friends, like
Black friends,
people
white
are debating,
friends,
like
South Asian friends.
You know, like, they'll bring it up. I don't know if it's because sometimes I feel like people get a little bit more hyped because I'm not the African American one in the room. And like when people, like when they talk about Black topics, I sometimes don't chime in because I don't know. I'm not going to put my 2 cents in. But if you talk about something with Indians, I'll chime in. But I'm not going to be sitting up here like, yeah, I know. Black people went through the worst. I don't. But all I know is in my house, raising a 5-year-old daughter that's mixed, we don't talk about divide here. We don't talk about that division. You're African American, you're South Indian, you're mixed, honey, and you got both.
And now that I think about it, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but with her saying that, it really had me thinking right now. That's another, you know, dialing back a little bit to the pressure thing. That's another thing. That's another reason why there was never any pressure presented when it came time for me to make that decision, because that wasn't even a thought. Like, it wasn't like, oh man, you know, I don't know how I feel about this. It was simply, like I was saying, going for what I wanted and the things that confirmed to me that this was right. My point in saying all of that is, like what she just said, the similarities that I've seen in our families, the similarities in the way that our families carried themselves, the similarities in the bondage. Like, it was.
And the crazy thing is, Jonah, my parents said, you know, our family, when we all like talked about, because when Wayne had to go convert, I couldn't go with him. I was sitting in the car because a woman can't obviously go to the masjid for that. So he had to go with my uncles, my father, and my cousins. And, you know, before that, they were like, you know, Wayne, you might have to change your name. They might, you know, you might have to have an Arabic name. You might have to do this. You know, we're just letting you know. They basically prepped him. And then when Wayne went, you know, converted, the imam, the priest, basically said to him, you don't have to change your name. Like, you're fine. Like, you know, it was like.
Hold on, but is that, sorry, I gotta ask about that.
Yeah, but he does
Sorry.
have an Arabic name that I call him when we're like cutting it up, joking. But
sorry,
you know,
so if he, so say that you guys had chose to go to a different, you called it a what, masjid?
A masjid, yeah, that's the
Masjid.
mosque.
So,
yeah.
so that you went to a different one, could that imam have said that he does need to take a different name? Was it just that specific?
I don't. That's what I'm not like. I think it's. He didn't make it seem so serious at all. Like he was just like, you know what I mean. So that's why Wayne was like.
And to be honest with you, the imam could have been. He wasn't a mature imam. He had to be
like a young modern.
He was within 5 years at the time, older or younger than me.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, so he could have been instilling new practices, which stayed along the guidelines of.
But you know the thing, this is the crazy thing. I have family members that don't believe in having dogs. I have family members that don't believe in putting up a Christmas tree. I have all those things. And why? Because to me, I don't have to put the Christmas tree for the religious aspect. I can put it because I respect this country and different religions that celebrate this holiday. I'm not going to have, let me tell you something. I went to Catholic school. Okay. I had a uniform. I had Catholic books and I did everything. But when it came time for the bread, they never gave me the bread. Why can't y'all give me the bread? Like, I'm here. And I respected it. It didn't make me say, Mom, I'm going to be Catholic now. I'm like, hey, I understand about Catholic religion. I understand Christianity. Cool. I don't eat pork. And I try to, you know, I never forget God. That's all my grandmother ever told me. Don't forget where you come from. Don't forget God. Be grateful for everything you have. And I'm a strong believer. God gave me my life. You know, God could choose anybody in creation, whoever your higher power is. Like, I could have been like, why did God choose me as a little person? Why did it have to be me? Why couldn't I be 6'1"? But hey, that wasn't my lineup. Like, I accepted whatever came and I just decorated my life the way I needed it to be for me. And when I saw Wayne, I'm like, yo, this dude, like me, I grew up always having to defend myself all the time. Like I go off on people. Like if people stare at me, if people say something stupid, I go off. Like I don't like, and then when we were
like you're about to go off on.
Oh yeah, same thing, Steve Harvey. Like I'm prepared. It's because I went through so much. I always have it ready. Like I always say, the arsenal is ready. Like I have to. I don't know if you're trying to be.
I was going to ask you.
I don't know if you're trying to be funny. I don't know if you're trying to be ignorant. I don't know if because you have an audience, you want to try to be big. So I'm like, okay, I'm always waiting to see what that person's gonna say, and then I'm always saying, don't be mad when I respond back. When me and Wayne became friends, I'm like, dude, I don't have to say nothing. This dude catches people before it even get to me. Like he'll be like, oh, you're staring. You want to take a picture? Like he'll be like, yes, and I'm like, yes. I'm off from this job. I don't, you know. So that was for me everything. I was like, he don't care. Like he don't care that I'm 4'4". He don't care that I'm Indian, and sometimes I dress Indian as hell in the house. Like you know, like I'm dressed like a grandma sometimes. And so when we go out, all of a sudden he's looking at me like, damn. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to hit the town. What's up? You know, like that's just how we are. So that's why I was like, when people were saying that, I don't know how. It's hard if you don't really know somebody's story. Like it's easy to assume, she forced him to convert. It just genuinely meshed like that.
For sure. What you made some really good points as well too, because my wife's Sveta as well too. She is born in India. She lived in Ireland for a little while, so she was in like private schools, Catholic schools as well too. So I mean, she grew up with like in the church a little bit as well too, and like Christmas, you know, the parents like they had just came over for a little while, so you know they wanted to partake, so they have the tree. You know, I don't think you have to make it out to be more than what it actually it is. You know, and it could just be, I want our child to celebrate this. You know what I mean? Celebrate.
Yeah.
Think about presents and maybe even think about Santa Claus. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Exactly.
because that was the thing with us. It was like, that's what because we're trying to give her the best of both worlds to the point where she can make her own decision, obviously. But, you know, that's the reason we decided to do what we do, because from my experience, that's what I experienced coming up. I want her to experience that. I want you to see what it feels like and why people are so joyful around this time of year and what's going on and what it's about. You know, indulge in this time of year so you can at least get the knowledge of why things are.
Yeah.
What have been some of the challenges that you've had to overcome, I guess, coming from trying to put both of the cultures together, if anything? Is there anything that comes to mind?
I speak my native language in Malayalam, so I feel like sometimes, I mean, I'm the only kid like in the family that speaks it. My cousins don't speak it, but they understand. So sometimes I feel like when Indians, no matter what part of the country you're from, when you speak the language, you're busting out the language, you're getting deep into conversation, you're talking about everything. So sometimes I'm like, damn, I wish he could kind of chime in, because they're like, oh, Wayne didn't understand that, right? I'm like, no. And then they're like, we'll try to explain it to Wayne. They're like, oh, Wayne, well, this is what we're talking about. And then they get back into it. So that's the only thing. I don't, he's eating.
I try.
Yeah.
I try to just listen and, see how they like, huh?
I've been there, bro. Like,
Thank you.
Or like, it's funny as well, too, because my mother-in-law, like, sometimes she'll be wanting to say something, like, and the kids will be there, and like she'll just go ahead and say it in like the other language, because like sometimes she doesn't want me to actually know, even though it may not be anything serious. Like it'll be like the smallest thing, but it'll be like, I just want to speak to my daughter, you know what I mean, without him knowing what I'm saying.
It's just habit, I think.
Yeah, that's
this is how you know that you're really in there, because there's been multiple times where my mother-in-law, aunties, they'll start talking to me in the language.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know what they're saying. Yeah. But you know what's weird? Sometimes if they do like a hand motion or a head nod, I'll know exactly what they're saying. Like her mother's caught me twice saying something in the language where she moved her finger, and I knew she meant go grab me that and bring it back. So I went to grab, and I was like, wait a minute. Did I just understand that? I think I just leveled up right here. Hold up. I think I just understood Malayalam.
Yeah, I know. It's just one of those things. I mean, I'm sure we have family members that are like, oh, they're probably gonna get divorced. They're the only, Black and Indian couple in our family. It's not gonna last.
Yeah, I think that culturally there hasn't been any hurdles that we've had to overcome.
No.
I honestly don't think that there's been many hurdles we've had to overcome just due solely to the fact of our friendship. Our friendship beforehand was the glue. Like there would be times when I was in my studio for 4 or 5 hours. I knew she was there, but I'd come up after the session's done. She's upstairs kicking it with my mom, my sisters, if not helping my mother prepare dinner. I'm like, what is this woman doing?
I love it. His mother was everything to me. No, I know. That's the thing. I think with us, like me and Wayne always joke about it. When people see us in the beginning, I think they're just so intrigued trying to figure it out. And I'm like, why are y'all so worried? Like,
you could feel people looking like, wait, what's going
on? Like one time, you know what? Like one time we were out and I heard these teenagers like, yeah, that can't be her daughter. She has to be adopted. I'm like, damn, like I can't even have a kid. Like, and she looks mixed. She's clearly Indian and African American. I'm like, yo, people are digging way too deep. I'm like, no, I never give somebody that much power at a mall. Like I look, I'm like, oh, okay. But I'm like, they're so intrigued by me and Wayne. And I'm like, why?
But yeah, I think to answer your question, there's not many hurdles we've had to overcome. If anything, any tough hurdles, just the language thing. I mean, other than that, there's nothing really, I mean, because like I said, the views were pretty much the same. Even though, see, if you look at the bigger picture, rewinding a little bit, even though I was a Christian boy, Baptist, and she's always been Muslim, at the end of the day, the bigger picture was we believed in God. We had faith in the universe or God, whatever anyone wants to call it, just so y'all understand. There was a belief of higher intelligence. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah,
a
yeah.
divine
I'm with you.
entity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, again, that's another reason why it was just like any person out there, even if a Christian woman was, I need a Christian man, I need him to believe in God. It was the same idea, basically. You know, she believes God, I believe in God. Whatever we got to do to make this work and be happy.
Yeah,
there was no hurdle.
I think when, like I said earlier, with the division, like divide, I don't believe in that at all with anything. Like, to be causing that kind of division, it brings so much ignorance and so much negativity. Like, to be talking that black, white, black, Indian, like, dude, like, you don't have to dig that deep.
At the end of the day, she's funny as hell. Y'all don't know the half. Y'all don't know the half.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You know, it's like it worked. We knew each other. We ate the same things. We just were cutting it up. We were always, me and Wayne is always, and that was one of the things that was odd to the Indian side. Because me and Wayne will be talking just like this. They're like, that's your husband. You can't talk like that.
Yeah, that's another thing.
No.
Yeah.
That people will think you guys
the
are.
traditional
I'm like,
way that a group of traditional Indians would see us handle this marriage, they'll be like, do they disagree with each other?
Yeah, like one time, listen.
Are they mad?
And you know,
and we're just like, we're friends.
No.
So like, we're married, but like, this is
I don't know, Jonah, if you and your family do this, but like in our family, like the men and the guys are always on one side and the girls are in the kitchen or the girls are doing something. Kids are playing board games. Like there's always some type of divide, right? So with Wayne, like, you hungry? You open up my mom's fridge. You make your plate because I know he wants a big old plate. Make your plate with what you like. You're good. I know you're good. I had one aunt say, you should be making this plate. I was like, what? I'm not making this plate.
Yeah. I'm good. I'll look at my own plate because I know the stuff that I want. All the Indian foods.
You know how much you want. Everything. You know how much you want.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing buffet style. He wants something, he can get it.
It's all good.
You know, and he's fine. That's why I'm like, I had uncles like, oh, would he like our food? I'm like, this man puts hot sauce on everything.
Yeah,
he's
he'll
good.
Be good.
Yeah,
He'll be good. He'll be good.
I got this. First time I walked up, she used to describe the dishes to me. It was so funny. She'd be like, just trust me, this is good. It's chicken. I'm like, oh, all right. And she'd be like the names will be dumb long, but it'll be like beef. And I'm like, all right, cool, I'll take that.
She just brought it down to like chicken, beef, lamb.
Right.
Like, that's
she's just like, it's chicken with like a curry. You know what curry is? I'm like, I know what curry is. She's like, all right, so it's just chicken with curry on it. I'm like, all right. She's like, it's spicy. I'm like, well, I like hot sauce, so I guess it'll be the same thing.
Yeah.
So it just worked out. But yo, now I'm hooked on Indian food. I'm putting my boys and the people I know, when people are like, damn, should we try Indian? I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
You do not know what you're missing.
Yeah. And look, and I'm the same person. You switch it around. I'm like, excuse me, there's turkey neck in your collard greens. I want potato salad. What's in your potato salad?
She's southern food.
So country.
She's like, oh, you ain't got no potato salad, no collard greens. I'm like, wait a minute.
Who are you? Yeah.
Aren't you Indian? Isn't your soul food like
people look at me, I'm like, excuse me, what do you put in this potato salad? Because it tastes different. And I make him go different spots. I'm like, that potato salad ain't it. Like, that's just
you got your own spot. What about what's one piece of advice you'd share with other Blindian or just kind of Black and South Asian couples trying to make it happen?
I'm gonna go first, then you go.
You've been going first all day.
I know. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're very close to your family and you care about, you're very rooted in your family and your culture, everything matters, because later you'll have problems down the line. You really have to look at all the pieces. You have to make sure this fits with everyone, because honestly, like I said, you don't want problems with your parents. You don't want problems with your family. You don't even see extended family members as much to even have those kind of issues. You got to look at, doesn't matter black, pink, or purple. You have to look at their background. Where do they come from? Do they believe in marriage? Do they believe in having children? Do they believe in culture? Whatever it is, because it wouldn't have, like I said, I know a couple people said something about my accent. You would never think I'm Indian. See, that's it. I am Indian. I'm so Indian. Like Shah Rukh Khan, I will still marry Shah Rukh Khan even though I'm married to Wayne. Like, I'm so rooted in my culture that somebody that's rooted in his, we understood that and we just made it all work. Make the best decision and fight for what you believe in, but do it the right way,
And in my opinion, I think that Honestly, and this is another thing that I just thought about as I was going to answer that. I don't think that is a big a deal in African American culture as it is in Indian culture, right? So it's easier for me to present Ruksana to my family than it would be for Ruksana to present me to her family.
For sure. 100%.
You know what I mean? So, and what I can say most about that from my side, as you should be in anything in your life or anything you pursue with your heart, just be honest.
Yeah.
Just be honest and follow your heart. You know what's right for you. At the end of the day, you're not going to be with anyone else but the person you choose as your soulmate. So just be honest with whoever, you know, introduce, if you're nervous, bring them around, you know, create a scenario where you get to introduce this person to your friends or your family. Hey, this is my work friend, or hey, bring them around. If you're really nervous and you can't muster up the vocabulary to introduce this person and say what it really is, bring them around, go off the vibe that you get from the people that you love and see how they respond.
But I want to say this, Jonah, I read the stories that the couples post every day. And honestly, I'm not even lying to you. I cry at the ones where they couldn't be together because of family. And that's a tough one because
you only got
sad to say, I'm going to be honest, I'm putting it out on the table. In this day and age, marriage is not guaranteed. It's not 100%. You could be a widow. Something could happen, cheating. You could be divorced. You could be in an abusive relationship. The person could be on drugs. It could be anything. Your family is your family. But if you believe in your heart that this person is worth it for you, eventually I do feel your family that knows you, that raised you, will eventually see the same thing, because those values they instilled on you, obviously they're going to see, but it will take time. I had cousins that couldn't marry the ones they loved because they didn't have the guts to say it. They didn't want to do that. And they look at me and be like, man, like, because I have younger cousins like, yeah, because of you, now you paved the way. And you know what I say? As crazy as it sounds, yeah, it worked for me. It worked for me. But just because it worked for me, you cannot base and guarantee that it'll work for you, because every situation's different.
Sure.
And my parents was open-minded. It was a different thing for me. You know what I mean? It was a different thing. I could have got an arranged marriage. I could have. I tell Wayne, I'm not trying to be funny. I could have got a doctor, an engineer from India. I probably could have. But that culturally and with everything, that wouldn't have worked for me. So just because everybody accepted Wayne, embraced Wayne, we have this white picket fence and everything's great. Yes, I'm blessed. We're blessed. Everybody's journey is different, and you have to be prepared for the good and bad that's going to come with that. That's all I have to say. But I hope for all those people that are still trying to get that approval,
I really hope that you guys get to bask in your love, and I hope you get to flaunt your love and your relationship the same way you would flaunt shoes or a new car.
Yes.
Because that's what we do with ours, and it's the most beautiful thing. You know, I don't care what anyone says when they look at us. Yeah. And that's the feeling that I have with her, that I wish anyone in our situation and like your situation will be able to experience, because it's beautiful. And not only does it open you up, it seasons you, it cultures you to different ways of living and thinking. It's a beautiful thing, man. And, you know, just like anything worth having, you're going to have to fight for it.
Yes.
You're going to have to put in some work for it. But when you obtain it, oh, the victory's so sweet.
Yeah.
I like that, man.
It's just different levels for everybody.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I love that. Gotcha. Okay, cool. We're running to the end here, but is there I guess anything else that you guys feel like you want to add or say?
I cannot wait.
I want to say thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for doing things like this and shedding light on situations like this, because these are the...
We didn't have that back in 2012.
No.
We didn't have that.
You know, no, it was, you talk about fresh.
Yeah.
Everyone on this live right now that's in our situation has experienced, you know, this, and it may have been tougher for others than us. Granted, we have personalities that have allowed us to view those people looking at us negatively or inquisitively, like what's going on there, and not care about it. Others may not have that exoskeleton. So it's good that the light is being shed on this topic so they can see, like, yo, nah, hold up. They look happy. my situation's worth fighting for. I got the same thing like them. What am I not? So, you know, I just want to say thank you, man, and allowing us to share our story and hopefully providing some oomph out there to someone else that wants to get their situation.
For sure. No, thank you. I think both of you have been, you know, very, very open and honest. And like I was saying earlier, it's topics that normally don't get talked about because people are too scared or sensitive, or it's not the right thing. But nothing gets fixed that way. So let's talk about it. Let's try to talk about it respectfully and just honestly, and people can take from it, you know, what they want.
Exactly. That's with anything in life. Take if you can use it, use it.
Yes.
You know, let it help you. Please, everybody, support this project and this book that Jonah's about to drop.
Yes.
Thank you.
Our contribution, I know that. We'll be making ours.
That's right.
Okay.
The URL is in the I have it pinned there. And it's also in the link in the bio.
Put the book on the coffee table. That's what I'm doing. Okay.
All right, y'all. If you're still here, give a clap.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Follow us, guys.
I appreciate
Reach out to us for any questions in your journey. We're here to help in any way we can with anything.
Cool.
So
thank you, y'all.
Thank
Appreciate it. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.